All right, so solving a linear equation with several occurrences of a variable, variables on both sides, and two distributions. Distributions just mean that we're going to multiply or divide something that's outside parentheses to everything inside the parentheses. A lot of times I refer to it as the arrows. The one thing that you have to remember when you're solving equations is you usually have to simplify each side as much as possible first, and to simplify we have to use the order of operations, which we have written here, which is a lot of people teach it as PEMDAS or PEMAWDAS because we've got some ors in there. It's parentheses or grouping symbols, so, and then exponents, and then you're going to multiply or divide whichever one comes first from left to right, and then add or subtract yet again from left to right, whichever one comes first gets done first. So we're going to simplify each side first, one side at a time, keeping in track of where our equal sign is. So first thing we're going to do is there is a multiplication between that 7 and those parentheses. So we're going to multiply the 7 to everything inside that parentheses. So 7 times W is 7 times W. And then distribute again. 7 times -1 is 7 times -1. So this side, when I have got that done, is 7W minus 7. So that is all I can do on that side of the equation. And now I'm going to look at the other side. Is I'm looking for order of operations for parentheses. So the first thing I do is this -3. Negative signs are attached to what is following them, and the parentheses I see are these parentheses, and this -3 is attached to it. So this is what gets done first. -3 times -2. So -3, I'm going to move that a little bit up. So thinking of what I'm doing, I have this stuff is hanging out. So I have 7W plus 5, and then I have -3 times -2W, and then -3 times -1. All right, so simplifying what I have 7W plus 5 plus, because a -3 and a -2, if they're the same sign, multiplying things, it's going to be positive. So positive times positive is positive, negative times negative is positive, and then if it's mix or match, then they become negative. So positive times negative is negative, and negative times positive is also negative. So this is two negatives, becomes positive, so this is 6W. And then same with this, -3 times -1 is going to be a positive 3. Now I have to combine like terms, so I'm going to combine the W's together. So W and a W is 13W, and the 5 plus 3 is 8, so plus 8. I still have my equal sign in between them, but I have simplified things as much as possible on both sides of the equation. I'm down to a variable term and a constant between both of them, which means now I have to get all of the letters on one side and all of the variables, all the plain old numbers on the other side. So I'm going to move the letters first, and I always move the smaller one to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 7W. Okay. However you do it is going to be perfectly fine. Just make sure you get the letters on one side and the plain old numbers on the other. So these will cancel out, and I have -7 equals 6W plus 8. Now the 8 has to move over to the other side because it's on the side with the W right now. So -8. -8. You're always going to be doing the opposite operation. So instead of adding, I'd be subtracting. Instead of multiplying, I'd divide. So this is -15 equals 6W. Now I get to undo the times, so divided by 6, and I get -15 over 6 equals W. Now it does say simplify your answer as much as possible. My answer is a fraction. That does mean I have to reduce it as much as I can, and I do know that 3 goes into both of these. So I'm going to have -5 over 2 equals W. And I could write it with the negative in front, so that's the same thing as -5 over 2 equals W. Both ways fine.